Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Bonaparte, a Mechanized Revolution, a game about the French Revolution and an alternate history timeline where you can have mechs with Napoleon leading the way in the revolution. We are playing as sort of a moderate party aligned with the Marquis de Lafayette, and we have taken our first province last turn, to the east of Paris, and I'm thinking we'll go ahead and try to expand our influence, because there's 3 more turns until the National Convention, which will occur here at Paris, but I'd like to expand my own economy. You can see here we make 75 funds, we've got 45 power, and some whatever phosgene, or whatever it is, that chemical that powers your mechs. And Troyes, which is over here to the east, and Reims, which is over here to the northeast, are both wealthy provinces, plus 75 gold, plus 10 power, and more of that phosgene stuff. That'd be an appealing target. Another one would be Troyes, which is 50, 20, and 0. Dijon down here would also be an ideal one. But there's a lot of, these are all independent provinces right now. They're all sort of loosely affiliated with the rebels. And so we'd like to try and take as much of this as we can. And I think Reims is the most logical one, because it does have, most provinces don't have this sort of chemical that's used by the mechs, and we need to use it. You know, it's a rare crystal that is used to power mechs and other machines. So, you know, these other factions, these other colors here, are going to close in on here. So we want to go ahead and get there before they do. So let's go ahead and take Reims. It seems like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. It will position us between the indulgence and the who are kind of aligned to the radicals, and the ultra-royalists up here in the north, but I'd rather we get it than they, especially since it's the only province here in the north where we would get that chemical to power our mechs here. So we'll go ahead and attack with our force. No more actions left. Didn't I just start this turn? I thought I started this turn. Maybe this is, we haven't actually ended the turn yet. How do I get more actions? Does this con have it? Yeah, okay. Alright, I guess we gotta end the turn. I didn't do anything this turn, did I? It wants me to recruit a line infantry unit and a new officer too. We have an army down here? I guess I only get the little eagle countries here. I guess I'll end the turn and see what happens here. So the Jacobins are going to go ahead and expand. Okay. Cannons, interesting. That sounded like the sound effect from Total War. Alright, garrison shows the army protecting the region. Districts here, you can see the buildings in the region. Each contributes a certain amount of resources per turn. Okay. So we can see the regions here. If we go to Paris, the regions, we've got a Philosophe refinery, we've got a market, a city hall, Notre Dame Cathedral, village, and slums. In Milun, we have, you know, not as much. I think Reims is what I want to take. The garrison there is all peasants. We're not, in a civil war at the moment. So let's do this, actually. Let's go ahead and Wants us to construct a new building in Paris and upgrade an existing building in Milan. So if we got an existing building, we got a church, we got farmland, estates, and village. I need more money. So let's upgrade the building. Okay. Wait, did I choose farmland? The noblemen don't want us to do it? Okay, well, I guess it's upgraded, but anyway. That spent all of our gold, so I won't have the ability to build a new building in Paris. I won't have the cash for that. Unless taking one of these provinces allows us to do that. Let's go ahead and leave the citizen militia. Do we have a garrison in Paris? We do. Okay, so Paris is reasonably well garrisoned. Milan isn't, so we'll go ahead and send Marshal Ney. How do I... Is the garrison there already full too? Or is it just because the army? I'm not really sure. Anyway, let's, I guess, go ahead and take Reims. I don't really know what I'm doing here, so let's go ahead and begin the battle. We could do an automate it, but also apparently at the end of the last battle, there was a we automatically got all of our troops healed between turns. And what I saw in the Steam chat was that that's actually a bug, and that you're supposed to have to build like hospitals and other things like that to get your troops healed back up. So that was interesting to see. Meanwhile, it looks like we got to move through some narrow streets, which will make the tactics here a little bit more challenging, perhaps. So our horsemen are going to ride around the flank here, hopefully, of the enemy, around this bend here, maybe come in on the enemy flank. Let's do the same with the grenadiers. Let's actually force march them. They can move much further than... So I did raise grenadiers. They're a new unit for our army. And then our mech here will move behind our line infantry, and our mob will move also behind them. We may have to expand the line a bit as we get to this courtyard, but... Enemy turn. Looks like they got 5 peasant units here. We should be able to win this pretty decisively, I would think. But a little bit more of a challenge, because it is a more urban hex than the last battle we fought, which was sort of in an open field rule environment. Alright. Horsemen are going to ride around the flank. It does help that the enemy doesn't have mechs, because they're just peasants. They need to work on the facing for these units. I would assume there's a morale penalty for force march, but I didn't see it. So these boys got in position pretty easily. I'm actually going to set up like this. We're going to put a line of troops here. Put the peasants back here to make sure the enemy doesn't come in behind me, but I don't trust the peasants to do much. And we'll just hold here so the enemy can't flank us. Maybe I should be inspiring my men or doing things to raise their morale. I don't know. I don't think the enemy can reach us yet. So they're inspired, but they didn't quite get to our positions. They weren't able to get the first shots in, if you will. Now, they don't have guns. Can we rotate the camera? Is there really no rotation? It's gonna be annoying if I can't. I mean, it's possible it's there and I just don't know it. Alright, they can't shoot at you, so go ahead and get the initial shots off. And you can't move. I was hoping that with the second shot you'd be able to move, but apparently not. Okay. Alright, let's move the mech forward here and slash him with sabers. Guys are almost dead. They do a little bit of damage to me, but not much. Alright. Heavy muskets, eh? What does grenade do? Less damage, maybe more morale damage. Heavy musket. Okay, we'll charge these guys frontally. Alright. May take a bit of damage this turn. The enemy's still in pretty good strength, and we'll probably take at least 2, maybe 3. Oh, looks like at least 3 enemy melee attacks against our boys here. Fortunately, one of their units is fairly weak, but I guess it's good that they're going for my Colossus. Like, that's the best situated to defeat them. And actually, one of the units is in the rear, so it couldn't do anything. Okay, you guys come in on the flank. And hit them in the flank with your pikes. Okay, did double the damage. Bayonet charge. Or muskets. Well, we should really fall back one, right? That way they don't... Because if we do musket attack from point blank range, then they can still do their melee against me. Whereas if I fall back and I'm not directly adjacent to them, they can't. Like these skirmishers actually haven't been engaged yet. Okay, so we destroyed our first enemy unit. I'm going to trample here because I can move across 3 enemy units. So that hurt 2 enemy units, I guess. Alright, we'll trample these guys. That'll destroy the last of them. And we're in behind the enemy. Move our grenadiers up this way. And have them fire a volley also. Okay. This is shaping up to be a pretty easy win for us. Okay, they're gonna attack. They're gonna attack Marshal Ney's peasants. Our cavalry they did some damage against, although our boys did much worse. Them spreading their attack out to me seems unwise. Now we have medium heat damage, so the mech's going to take some damage here. So we're going to go ahead and vent the heat. Basically resets our heat. But I can still do a mech saber attack. Ah! 900 damage. Have at them, boys. Okay. Grenadiers will finish off that unit I just meleeed. Alright, let's go ahead and nearly finish these guys off with a saber attack. Alright, shoot these guys. Should finish them off, and then we just got the one enemy unit left to handle. Our skirmishers. Skirmishers are the OP unit in this game. That should finish it off. Oh, they survived that, really? Okay. Well, Marshall and Lay finished them off. Victory pretty easily. Took that new province. Battle of Reims. Some of my units didn't even take any casualties. We captured Andre Leclerc, and I can't do anything except imprison him. Do we need to transfer a unit to a... How do I garrison? That's what I don't understand. We do have garrisons. So, like, we take these towns and then they instantly get garrisons? Okay. I'm not sure I understand that, although I'm not opposed to it. Alright, so we took that province. That'll give us more of the resource that's needed for the mech. Go ahead and end the turn here. We could split our army into multiples. Might not be a terrible idea to take more of the provinces rather than just one per turn. Okay, turn 4. So there's also, and we're still kind of in the tutorial here, but there's a strategic view on the map where you can like see population approval. Okay, what's the Count de Mirabeau want? Madame Marie-Anne Pultz-Lavasseur. No. Oh, her husband discovered Philoston and prototyped the first Colossus on commission for the crown, for better or worse. Where's your husband now? Anton has been ill for quite some time. He sojourns in the countryside while I lead our operations. Okay. The union of the like-minded. A truly unique bond. Okay. Why help? The Levasseur legacy lives through the Colossus, Captain Bonaparte. After the American Wars, French developed on the Colossus stagnated. Hundreds of Colossus were decommissioned and left to rust. While my husband convalesced, I was hired for frivolous ventures. ornamental colossus to decorate a noble garden, a mechanized canine to bark on the queen's command, pompous shows of wealth. I've created nothing of real scientific consequence since. No more. If I am to work, let it be in the service of progress. Ooh. Gold. You want money, and you want philosophy. Okay. Okay, so we now have the regional population thing down here, so you can see the different approval rates in different towns. So Paris, for example, has 10,000 aristocracy, 30,000 bourgeoisie, and 50,000 masses. You can see where their support lies. So we've got 30,000 people which support us fully. They have dislikes the other factions. So the masses are... Paris is definitely leaning toward the masses. Does Paris really only have that many people? Because then you've got Melun, which has... Are the masses all... Well, these are different groups. Masses, bourgeoisie, and aristocracy, but still. So the aristocracy has a decent amount of support from the moderates here. And then all the bourgeoisie. And a decent amount of the... Okay. Alright, well, in any event. There's an army here. I don't understand the garrisons, because do we really get all that line infantry if someone attacks us? Like... Anyway, switch the strategic view to support view. Moderate support seems to be hunkered around Orléans, which is a, I guess, allied group, but they're not directly under my command. A lot of sort of undecided groups. I'm assuming when you hold a region, it influences the popularity for a period of time. Spread propaganda using your army? How? How do I spread propaganda? Oh. Let's do this. I don't particularly want Ney and his peasants. How do I... Alright. Oh, no more actions left. Right. So they're 50 per turn. I'd like to try and link up with the other blue regions. Alright. Let's go ahead and crush it. It says a heroic victory, which frankly is the only reason I continue to fight these battles. Because I don't see how we... I can't afford to risk getting defeated. And a heroic victory, to me, suggests that it's going to be a close run thing. And I can't afford that, frankly. So, as much as maybe it might feel a little silly to fight each one of these battles against peasants who have presumably no chance, I would rather not risk losing. Okay. Motivate! Yay, morale. Everybody likes to be motivated, right? This may just be a repeat of the last battle, but we need to win. And you know what? What is a YouTube channel if it isn't slaughtering innocent civilians? Well, they're not really innocent. They are fighting against us, but... Yay, motivate. Alright. We'll hold on this line. Wait for him to come to us. Oh, they're going to attack my cavalry? The jerks. They actually did a decent amount of damage there. If they all do that, though, they're going to expose their rear to my troops. Okay. So we'll hit these guys here. Not quite in the flank, but... focus all of our effort here on this flank. I don't know if they're a company or whatever they are. Unit. Can this guy get there? No. Alright, you're going to secure the flank against this peasant group coming up this way. And this group is going to be eviscerated. They're nearly done. Okay. Cavalry's going to trample their way through the enemy lines. And try and get out of there. So they took 500 out of 3,000, so they took 1/5 damage. I don't want them to die. Sorry, 1/6 damage. I don't want them to die, so I'm going to try and get them out of there before they get hurt too bad. Skirmishers got hurt pretty bad there, too. Oh, boy. Okay. Alright, skirmishers. Fall back. Go ahead and trample through these boys again. Just keep riding back and forth across them. Okay, finish off that group. Can they hit him from over here? Grenades! Hoi! Oh wow, I didn't realize that had splash damage. That's pretty awesome. Protect their flank! Alright. Well, that splash damage of the grenade and then the trampling hasn't totally destroyed the enemy's chances, but they were risking doing more damage than I was comfortable with, and I think that last turn pretty much assured us of the victory that we knew we probably should have had to begin with, but... Also, those grenadiers, holy cow, like, they take damage, but holy cow do they give it. Alright, defeated that group. They can't reach over there. Okay, pull back one hex. Finish off these guys. Mira, come over here with your cavalry and your long range and hit these guys in the flank. Oh, they're nearly dead. Saber will finish it off. That should do it. Victory. Another province will fall to us. Another wealthy province too, 250. Messina captured. Alright. I didn't spread propaganda this turn, but we should also get to the National Convention here, which I'm curious to see how that unfolds, because like we're not technically at war with the other groups. We're all sort of vying for power to overrun all these other provinces, but we're not technically at war with them yet. Okay. January 1790. National Convention occurs at irregular strategic turns. When you're finished, you click with your turn. Go to the National Convention. Mirabeau arrives at your doorstep. The king has summoned me to Versailles to discuss the state of the nation. Yes, I'll go with you. Okay. The king's smile at Mirabeau's arrival fades as he hears your name. Okay. All of them? I'm the King of France. Curse the Constitution. I will do what I must to save my kingdom. Yeah, well, no one's going to listen to you, buddy. You're going to lose your head. The royal finances are ruined. Roving mobs ransack provinces. All the constitutional nonsense has achieved nothing. Is this a threat if I say it protected you? I would imagine it would be a threat. Such is the nature of compromise, my king. Very well. Okay. This is untenable. The king will not cooperate for long. For all we know, he's already planning a counter-revolution. True, however, the king remains a powerful symbol for the French people. It is best he remains under our influence. Let us keep a close eye on him. Okay. So that wasn't the National Convention turn. Dijon is another wealthy province. Also constructs this Philogene or whatever. So let's go ahead and try and conquer it. These are kind of blue wall. And also, if we take that, kind of helps us wall in this whole center region of France for the moderates. It really does. The fact that your units automatically regain health between turns really does make this a very different game. If they fix that quote-unquote bug and they make it so that you have to actually use hospitals and stuff, then this gets a lot more challenging to move anywhere in any kind of speed. But for now, it is what it is. Alright. Let's defeat all enemies. We're in an open field, boys. We're just going right at the rebels. Now, when we fight, like, actual factions later in the game, this'll be, you know, we'll be facing peers with other equipment, artillery, their own mechs. But for now, we're still very much in the early game where it's just sort of us sort of mopping up brigands. Although it does look like they might have 2 line infantry units here. Not as I say that. I don't think we've seen a rebel group have line infantry yet. But yeah, they do. So they'll actually have guns. That could be a challenge. Alright, anyway, they're on our flank. Let's move these guys over here. These are our grenadiers, right? Heavy muskets, they will get shot back, but our boys will do better. So we'll do that. We'll take the casualties, trying to take out their guns first. The skirmishers have rifles, so we can actually shoot from further away and take no damage. Using grenadiers might actually be a good idea in the future. Right, they did shoot back at me, but we've already damaged them heavily. I don't know why I'm doing this, but we'll use the mech to finish him off. Right, so the enemy had 2 ranged weapon units, line infantry. We destroyed one of them. I don't want to do that. Let's try and get our cavalry in behind the enemy, rather than expose them to a frontal assault. Alright, peasants are coming in behind my thing and doing 600 damage to it. The other peasants tried to move on the cavalry. I was trying to flank them, but the flankers became the flanked. And then the muskets went after my metallic beast. Alright, move over here, get him behind the line infantry, and see if you can saber him to death. Those are not quite the results I had hoped for. Let's do a mech saber attack against the enemy line infantry. 900 damage against them, 500 versus me. Hmm. 900 damage against them, and they don't even shoot back against me there. That's a good result. Alright, go finish off these line infantry. The line infantry survived, but just barely. There's like 2 left. I don't think they can do much damage. Meanwhile, our skirmishers and muskets will weaken this rabble. And next turn we should finish off the line infantry, and maybe in 2 turns everybody. They're gonna go for my cav. Fortunately, I don't think they have enough strength to hurt all that much. They're taking some heat damage. Get rid of that heat. Finish those peasants off. Oh, we didn't quite. There we go. Alright, defeated that peasant group. We'll finish off the line infantry. And there's just one enemy unit left. Our cavalry is going to take a pretty good beating this turn. Almost 2/3 losses, but again, because everything gets rebuilt, it's okay. Meanwhile, they turn to face our cavalry, so now all of our muskets should be able to engage them more or less in the flank. Okay. Alright, finish him off, Mech. Got him. Victory. Another province falls to the mighty Napoleon Bonaparte. Dijon is ours. And now, technically anyway, from a map point of view, we have linked up with the other moderates in the south. So he can use propaganda. They already really like me, though. It does increase the... Okay. Okay. Okay, so it looks like his speech works. To Reims. Let's support. So support is pretty strong for the moderates now in the center. Okay. Wow. More masses support us here now than do the bourgeoisie. Alright, let's go to the National Convention and see what they have to say. Welcome to the National Convention. Here are the January 1970 election results. Each faction distributes its votes amongst the parties and corresponds to how many votes each party gets to the National Convention. Okay. Per region breakdown. Robespierre has 5 votes. Cordelis has 5. Indulgence have 5. So the faction strength, the election results are 80 votes for the moderates, 15 for the radicals, 26 for the king. It's not quite as lopsided when you do the entire population from non-eligible voters, but even so, 7, 21, 23, we've got a pretty strong majority. I think we might have the most territories under our control. Okay, so they want to do some reforms. We can use our influence to do that. We have property rights. The problem in a game like this is, as the moderates, we probably want to keep everything we have. Like, we probably don't want to change anything. I don't really... Do I need to propose a reform? Okay. I would think with the considerable number of votes in our favor, we should win the vote. But I don't know. The nays are growing. It was 40 to 26. That's a pretty strong majority. So we could negotiate with folks to get their votes to our side. There's quite a few abstentions here. So what do we do here? You bribe them directly, or you can offer them power. You could give them resources too. So that seems, I don't want to give them money. Okay. I don't know, the abstentions could swing this one way or the other. Well, let's just close the debate and see what happens. It passed! Yay! We didn't have to do anything! Okay, Lafayette wants everybody to have a vote. I'm in favor. This one should win easy, I would think. No? Much more participation in this one. No abstentions, so I can't even convince anyone. Rejected. Okay, well. I think I'm against it. Sorry, King. This one's going to get crushed. There's no need to even negotiate with the abstentions because we just slaughtered this bill. So some of the other moderate groups are also working on perhaps expanding our influence. Not directly my faction, but there are other moderate factions here who are our allies. Lafayette summons me to the Guard National Headquarters. Bonaparte, urgent news. His Majesty and the royal family have gone missing. He's escaping. He no longer wishes to cooperate with the National Convention. It's highly probable His Majesty flees to Austria, the homeland of the Queen. Does he seek help from his brother-in-law? Perhaps. The Holy Roman Emperor, along with several European monarchs, are unhappy with France's shift toward a constitutional monarchy. Or it could be a counter-revolutionary plot. It could not have gone far. Mobilize the troops and be ready to act. Okay. For the sake of our nation, Bonaparte, you must refrain from pursuing Louis. Though you do not belong to the Royalists, your loyalty at the Bastille showed your dedication to the king. What was my loyalty? All I did was not massacre people. Does the king flee to Austria? I must think on this. Okay, well, the king is fleeing. Yeah, if the moderates can link through this corridor, then we will basically it'll be a thin, vulnerable line, but it'll also be like controlling the whole center of France while the other factions are all divided. In any event, we'll see what we do with the king next time, I guess. Maybe? I don't know. I know some of you weren't super high on this game, so I don't know if I'll play it a ton more on the channel, but I'll probably play it privately. It's interesting. With that being said, we've been going for almost an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I hope you guys enjoyed the series, and until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out. Bye-bye.